Well, folks, here we are again. Who would have thought it's that time of the year where summer rapidly comes to an end and fall classes begin to slowly creep up on the horizon and my blood pressure starts to rise as I think about going back to college. Yippee.
Girl, stop your crying, it's a sign of the times. Welcome to the final show.
Okay, well, I don't seem that thrilled to go back to college. Trust me, there is a little level of excitement somewhere mixed in with all the stress and anxiety, only because I know that I'm going into my junior year, which means I don't have that much longer in school, which is terrifying in its own sense, but it will be exciting to finish my undergrad. Also, I do really like the whole daily routine of going to school and like getting to my class on time and not being home where my dog barks at everything. No, but in all seriousness, I am pretty excited to go back to school. But before school starts, I thought I'd make a couple videos on my experience in college because I have a little bit different of an experience than other students do because I am a commuter student, which means I travel to school every single day. Now, commuting can mean all different sorts of things. Some commuters can walk to school. Some people take a bus, take the subway, take a train, take a boat. I don't actually, no, I did see somebody on TikTok that literally took a boat to get to their school because I think they lived in like Scotland or something. So I guess that's technically not a joke. But in my case, the way that I commute is I drive to school every single day. Now, people will commute for several different reasons. There are some people that do just live close enough to campus that it's not that big of a deal just to drive or walk over. But for me personally, I do it to try to save lots of money so that I do not go into debt. Living on campus can be very expensive depending on what school you go to. But personally, I save about $10,000 for not living on campus. And to me, I would rather come out of school with the least amount of debt as possible. Whereas I know for some people that's not as big of a concern, but for me it's just something that I kind of think about. Now, commuting to college may sound difficult, and yes, there are some disadvantages to it, but I found that there are more positives to it that help me continue to want to commute in college because I've done it ever since my freshman year. So I have compiled 5 of the best tips that I have found help me as a commuter student in college that may help you if you are looking into commuting or you are going to be a commuter student. I remember when I was starting out as a freshman in college, I tried to find all the TikToks and YouTubes and blogs that I could find on commuting because I was a little bit overwhelmed by it and wondering how it was going to work, and I didn't find too many things, so hopefully this video can help you somewhat. The first thing is to have a couple different routes on how you're going to get to your college classes, only because, like for example, I know the one way that I mainly go to get to my school, but in case there's ever construction or a wreck, bad traffic, anything like that, I try to have different routes that I can get there just in case there is something that's messing up the like plan A. Always good to have a plan B. Now, this is not sponsored in any way, but I absolutely love using the app Waze, basically just a GPS app, but it does tell me if there's any traffic, if there's any kinds of wrecks. It shows you how long it may take you to get through that heavy traffic, and it also gives you different routes on how to get to where you're trying to get to. And making sure you're there on time at school is very, very important because you don't want to be late to any class or a final or whatever big project you may have. Along with that, it's also very smart to map out how much time it takes for you to get to your school. Whether you are taking a subway, a bus, walking, car ride, whatever it is, it's very important to know that just so when you're getting ready, you can know how much time to set aside that you need to even get there on top of getting ready. The second thing is plan your classes strategically. And what I mean by that is I try to have all my classes be back to back only because I don't want to have a class at like 9:25 and then my next one not be till like, I don't know, 12:30, because that's a large gap for me, and while I can hang out on campus, I don't always want to, so I will do mine like one after the other. Personally, I do morning classes because I like getting out earlier so that I have the rest of the day to do something, whether it's like my fun personal time or it's going to work. But definitely just plan your classes around what fits your schedule the best. The third tip is to prepare what you need the night before. So this means your backpack, this means what you're wearing, if you are going to pack any sort of snacks to have for breakfast, if you are like me and don't really wake up and eat breakfast but eat it on the go, have all that ready. I struggle with this a lot because I'm very much just a last minute person, but the days that I have actually taken the time to plan out things, it just makes everything go so much smoother so that if I do have any other bumps in the road, I at least know what I'm wearing, what I'm taking, all that is taken care of. Along with that, go to bed early. I know that I seem like an old grandma saying that, and I even don't listen to that advice very well just because I'm more of a night owl, but it is very important to get your sleep, not only for your mental health and your physical health, but also you're going to be driving or needing to stay awake on a bus or subway or whatever. You just need to be awake and aware, and if you're tired, it's very hard to do that. And especially if you're driving, you want to make sure that being sleepy is not an issue because that can be very dangerous. Or if you're like me and have morning classes, being sleepy and then going to like a 9:25 class, not very good. You will want to fall asleep, or you will start to doze, and that's not really a good thing. Take it from me, who did not go to bed good on time, and then also had 8 a.m. classes and was struggling most of the time. I've already lost count of like how many things I've done. I'm pretty sure we're on the 4th one. But if you get anything out of this video, please get a waterproof backpack or bag, whatever you're gonna carry your stuff in, because sometimes the weather will change really randomly, or at least where I live. So it will be nice, bright, and sunny even when I check the weather app the morning of that day, and then the next thing I know, it's raining. Obviously, you don't want your laptop or notebooks or whatever other supplies you have to get wet and soggy, so that's very, very important. But it's also good to have a nice sturdy backpack in case you are carrying different textbooks or snacks, anything else. I just like having a nice sturdy one. Personally, I have a Lululemon one, but that's only because it was on sale and I got it at an outlet. But the brand really doesn't matter, just as long as it's comfortable to you, holds up well, waterproof, it'll work. And speaking of packing snacks and an umbrella and things like that, definitely pack what you need. As a commuter, it's not always easy once you leave your car to go back in between classes. Sometimes you don't have time to do that. So I like to try to have everything that I need to in my backpack without making it too heavy, just so that I'm prepared for anything. Number one, I like being prepared, but then number two, I don't always want to walk back to my car to get what I need. Depending on how your classes are, I like always packing a snack just in case I get hungry and don't really have time to stop and get something on campus. Just having snacks, having a water bottle full of something, really handy. And then my last piece of advice is try to connect with other commuter students. Now, you don't necessarily have to do this. Personally, I'm not a very social person. I really just like keeping to myself. I'm on campus to get my classes done. Once I'm done with those classes, I leave, I ditch, I'm gone. But whether you're social or not, it can be nice to get to know other commuters and sort of connect with them, just because you're sort of sharing a similar experience. It can feel a little weird, and if not a little isolating, when everybody lives on campus and you don't. So knowing someone that is going through the same thing you are is kind of nice. Some schools offer different activities for commuter students, or like specific meal plans. Like my college has tried to be a little bit more inclusive for commuter students. So like there's specific groups, there's some like extra activities that they try to make more accessible, because it's hard for students sometimes to get to campus all the time. So I'm really glad that they're trying to do that. So definitely try to check out what your campus offers, and then get involved on campus if you want to. You still can, even as a commuter student. I did a couple different things my freshman year. I've done some in my sophomore year. My junior year, I'll be doing like 1 or 2 things. Again, I'm not super social. I'm okay with missing out on some of the different activities, but if that is something very important to you, it's totally accessible and very easy to do, and I highly, highly encourage you to get connected with other students. In fact, one of my best friends is actually a commuter student as well at the school that I go to. When we first met, I had no idea that she was, but then when she let me know, it was sort of like that connecting thing that we both had, and it's really worked out. It's good to have a familiar face on campus, and when we have events and stuff at school, some are mandatory, some we've just wanted to go to for fun, we can even carpool with each other. I want to make a separate video on this sometime, because I feel like I could go into it at a much larger length than I'm going to now, but please, please, please do not worry about missing out on the college experience if you are a commuter student. I worried about that so much, because when I would tell people that I'm commuting, people would react not very positively and let me know how much I'm going to hate it, because I'm not going to have the same experience as other people, and I won't get to know what it's like to live on campus and have that sort of campus life. And while that is true, I don't share the same experience as students that live on campus, but I'm okay with that. For me, I've learned that the college experience is whatever I choose to make it, whether it's living on campus, whether it's living off campus, whether it's eating at the cafeteria with everybody else, whether it's eating in my car by myself. Whatever I want the college experience to be, it's mine. I don't have to be on the same like schedule or timeline as other students are. Whatever I choose to make college to be is my college experience, and that's okay. So if people try to make you feel bad or discourage you from commuting, but you know that that's what's best for you, definitely don't let those things get to you, and know that college can be super fun even as a commuter student. Although I joked earlier about dreading going back to school, I actually have really enjoyed college, and it's been a very fun experience for me, even doing it differently than other people have. So yeah, that's my advice to you, from one commuter student to potentially another. Hopefully these tips helped, and if you have any other questions, just leave them in the comments below, and I will try to answer them in the comments, or if I get enough, I will make a separate video about it. So that is all I have for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, you can give it a big thumbs up, and if you want to watch more content like this, you can subscribe down below. So yeah, thank you guys again, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye! Whoop!